Back to the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. As I said, Cheryl Garlock with Colorado Front Range Properties here. Hey, I wanted to go ahead and talk to you about an article that I had read recently, and it's called Why Mortgages Get Declined. Actually, it was 50 reasons why mortgages get declined. I don't have time to go into all 50 reasons, but I'm going to pick some items here and talk to you guys about it, because a lot of people don't really understand what it takes to go ahead and get a mortgage today, and why some of these mortgages sometimes do get declined. And I got to tell you, there's usually a workaround on it. You just got to plan in advance. Guess what? I know how to help you with that. So give me a call to help you with that. There's 719-321-7600. By the way, of course, one of the biggest reasons mortgages get declined is because people don't have the credit scores that they need to have in order to get a mortgage. But frequently, a lot of people will go ahead and just think that they don't have the right credit score, or they have credit dings that will impact them and not allow them to go ahead and get approved for a loan. Okay, and they can be fixed. So there's a class that's coming up here next week, next Wednesday, as a matter of fact, here on how to improve credit scores. Go to our sister website at redrocksinstitute.com. Register for that class, How to Improve Credit Scores. You are going to be so glad that you did there. Anyway, at redrocksinstitute.com. It's free, so just take a look at that one there. So let's talk about why people sometimes get declined on mortgages here. First of all, okay, if they have, nowadays the lenders do ask for your tax returns. So they need to make sure that they have income, of course, reported on their tax returns, not losses. I mean, we have losses. And when you're self-employed in particular, such as myself or other people who own small businesses there, we tend to write everything off. And that is the wonderful, great American advantage of being self-employed and being able to write so much off, so you have really a limited tax liability. The only time that doesn't work for you is, yep, you got it, when you need a loan. That's it. Because on that 1040, the bottom line there in the front page, it says your adjusted gross income. And when you look like you're in negative territory, they don't accept the buts, question marks, you know, the different things, or they don't add in certain things that, but we got great cash flow. The fact is, that's what you report to Uncle Sam, and that's what they really go by. So if you are self-employed, okay, and you're relying on that income to qualify for a mortgage, you definitely need to plan well in advance. So that you know this, okay, the lenders typically will ask for 2 years tax returns. 2 full years tax returns from a self-employed individual there. It's those 2 years that you basically have to face the music and pay Uncle Sam the taxes there. What you want to know in advance, so you can do your planning carefully, is how much income do you need to show in order for you to qualify for the type of loan that you want, or in your case, the property that you want. So, you know, you really want to go ahead and have that figured out ahead of time. You know what to do. Give me a call, 719-321-7600. I'm going to tell you how you actually do that there. Also, another reason that mortgages sometimes get to fall apart is because we have what we call a debt-to-income ratio. So obviously their lenders are going to be looking at how much your total monthly obligations are against what your gross income is. And lenders, by the way, do in fact deal with gross income figures. They don't deal with net income figures. They look at gross income figures. So generally speaking, they like to see things in that 36 to 42% back-end ratio. It depends on what kind of a mortgage that you're actually going for. Sometimes they can push that ratio a little bit higher there. But you have to look at that debt-to-income ratio and understand how to analyze that. Yep, you got it. I know how to do that. Give me a call, 719-321-7600. I'll be glad to help you walk right through that there. Also, okay, they find out that all of a sudden the mortgage rates are too high and they push their payments beyond the limits from what they can actually qualify for. That's why at the top of the show, and you guys hear it all the time, you want to buy a home sooner than later, because historically our interest rates are not at 4 1/8. Last year we had interest rates around 3.5, 3 3/4. You remember that. Okay, we've never had rates that low in what I think nearly 50 years that they've been reporting rates. Okay, and 4 1/8, 4 1/4, 4.5. Those are amazing interest rates, okay? But when you start getting up to 6, 7, 8, and by the way, over the course of, I don't know, I think the mass majority of the last, say, 30 years, the average interest rate has been like around 7 to 8%. Okay, you guys need to know that today's interest rates that are being offered to you, okay, are not real. Okay, that's the best way to call it. It's not really where we should be at. The lenders don't really make any money, or the banks don't make any money. Here's why, real quick, I'll tell you why. Do you know that the banks borrow the money from the feds, from the Federal Reserve System? So the Federal Reserve loans money to the banks, the Wells Fargos, the Chases, the Cities, all that kind of stuff. And they're probably loaning the money out today. I would have to guess that they're probably loaning the money out today at about maybe 1%, 1.25%. Okay, that's what they're borrowing the money at, give or take right there. And then those banks in turn, they got to go ahead and loan that money out to you, John Q. Public. So they've got to make a profit on that. So they add on, say, 3%. I.e., that's where you come up with 4 1/4, 4.5%, or 4 1/8%. So that's really how the money wheels work there. But once the feds start increasing the rates that they pass on to the banks there, and they will. It's not a question of if they will, it's just when. Okay, when will they do that there? Your rates are going to go up as well. So, you need to kind of bear that in mind as well. Another key point for why people get declined is they don't have but a limited job history. You need to have something of a job history. It does not mean that you need to have worked at the same job for the last 2, 4, 5 years. It does not mean that at all. You just have to have a consistent job history. And yes, it should be in a relatively similar type of field that you are accustomed to working in. So, let me think about that. If you've been a financial wizard and all of a sudden you are now a server, there's some inconsistency there, you might say. And an underwriter who reviews and documents loan going to have a lot of questions there. So you need to have some stability with regards to job history there. And also, another big one is limited credit history. This is a big one here. Okay, and this is because we get a lot of people who say, I don't have credit cards. I don't have any credit cards. I don't have any debt there. I don't like to have any of that at all. Okay, you need to have some. You need to have some. You just need to manage them well, so that you can show that you know how to handle credit. That is such a big deal. Hey, I've got so much more I can share with you, but give me a call, 719-321-7600. Stay tuned for more from the Springs Radio Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.